Welcome to another episode of This is Culture. If you're a fan of the show and you enjoy what we're doing, please leave it down below in the comments. Also, don't forget to give us a share, a like, even hit that notification bell. And now in this week's show, and especially in some of the urban neighborhoods, you don't have to worry about people breaking in and stealing it.
If anything, I can say that this cab was rare, but I thought, nah, forget it.
Go home to Bel Air.
I mean, I get rejected every day. Every day.
Good.
This business, thick skin. You gotta have it or just get out.
Welcome everyone to episode 13 of This is Culture. You might recognize our co-host today, Matt Cook. He's been on the show several times. He's an accomplished musician, and today he's going to join us for Culture Trends. Wow! So Matt, you ready for this?
Ready as I'm gonna be.
It's gonna blow your top. Innovation is crazy on this one. Emoji keyboards. Microsoft is coming out with a little key on the keyboard that allows you to access your emojis right away. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I actually did hear about this, and my first thought was, because I'm not in front of a computer too often anymore. Like we live in like a phone age now.
Yeah, that's true.
And I was never an emoji person until actually like just started doing it jokingly with my bandmates. So
Wow.
So yeah, I think it's a cool idea because sometimes when you're in a hurry, you don't want to type something out. That's what the emojis cover, and they come out with. I always look forward to the new ones that they come out with too. So
Yeah, I've actually seen kids use nothing but emojis to communicate.
This is sex if I've ever seen it illustrated in emoji
Oh,
form.
no, maybe not. They're best friends. They're just saying, like, you're okay with me. You're okay to me.
There's like a whole new language, like Pig Latin.
yeah. That's a little scary, but yeah. But as a joke, I guess that's what I use them for mostly in my own life. I use them as little jokes with my bandmates and all. So
Absolutely, it does make things a little easier sometimes. But moving right along, I want to talk to you about something that's going to take a lot of people by surprise. So as you know, legalization of marijuana is around the corner. A lot of people are talking about it, but with that also brings in some dangers. So they're coming out with a cannabis breathalyzer. And what I guess it's going to do is going to be able to measure the THC levels in someone's body. Have you heard about this?
I haven't heard about this, but I think that's a great idea because it's no different than if you're driving under the influence of alcohol or
Sure.
And that was actually that's always been a concern of mine with all the legalization. I'm not saying it in a judgmental way at all. It's not something I partake in, so it doesn't make a difference to me personally. But just the safety of others, same way as you don't want to be driving or operating any type of
course not.
heavy machinery under the influence of something like that.
Hey man, am I driving okay? I think we're parked, man.
Now this one's really cool. Cool, or maybe not so cool, depending on who it is and how you see it. Nike is really, always on the forefront of the sneakers, coming out with different limited editions. Nike's releasing an Air Max with actual holy water from the River Jordan inside the sole of the shoe, normally where the bubble is. Now, some people are going wild over it. It's actually sold out in minutes at $1,500 a pair, but some people think it's actually blasphemous. What do you think?
Well, that's surprising, actually.
Yeah, it is.
There's definitely some shock value there, and I know that Nike's done things like that before just for shock value purposes. I remember because I run, I exercise all the time. When I was buying a new pair of track shoes, I didn't even realize something I was buying had like the rainbow design for all the gay rights and everything. That's kind of wild. As a Christian, like it's a little.
Yeah.
It's a fine line for me, I think, of actually, to walk on holy water like that. And also, I don't know who would be profiting from something like that.
Yeah, that's a good question too. Where's the money going? $1,500 seems a lot to capitalize on a sneaker.
Yeah.
Is there like a benefit behind it? Is the money going to a good place, good organization? Because I have no problem wearing a T-shirt that says like "I love Jesus" or something, and the manufacturer of that T-shirt, I'm sure, is making some money behind it.
Right.
So what's the difference between that and Nike making $1,500 on a sneaker, where it basically portrays maybe someone's beliefs? Or is it taking it a bit too far at that price tag, or maybe to the extent that they took it? What do you think?
Yeah, I think if it was going towards something that's going to help people, then we're talking about something different, I guess. But if it's just a a fashion statement. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about
It's a tricky
that
one.
Yeah.
Definitely a tricky one.
What would Jesus do?
So, Matt, I'm wondering, do you think the Pope is going to be wearing these sneakers under his robe? Maybe not yet, right?
Yeah, well, you know, growing up in the Roman Catholic Church, you know, there's a lot of rules involved there, and I can't really see, I can't really see that happening underneath the robe.
We just have to wait and see.
Yeah.
So, what do you guys think? Is this a good idea? Is it a really awesome sneaker, or is it blasphemous? Leave it down below and let us know. So, Matt, our theme for today is getting outside of your comfort zone, doing things you normally wouldn't do, and getting a little bit more comfortable with those situations. So for you, obviously, you're a musician. You've been doing this for a long time, so maybe that fear had gone away. But do you remember what it feels like to actually step on stage for the first time?
You know, I think just a natural performer thing, you know, you kind of feel those like butterflies when you first start, no matter what the setting is now. Like I always feel it within like the first song, and it tends to go away like, you know, after I start singing like a verse or a chorus, and then, oh, okay, now I'm like in the zone of everything.
So what you're saying is you never really get rid of that fear. It's a healthy fear. You just learn to embrace it.
Yeah, I think it keeps you sharp as a performer, honestly, because you never want to get too comfortable to the point where, you know, you're taking for granted where you are. So I always try to, you know, no matter what the setting, I always try to embrace my surroundings and take it all in. Like when we did the TEDx thing, it's walking out on a stage that's in front of like 1,200 people. So
that was a big venue.
I always try to soak everything in, and yeah, it's. I think it's a perfectly normal thing to feel that way.
Yeah, I love the experience, what it feels like to be a musician on stage, even though that's not my medium. Speaking is more my thing. I'd love to do what you do, play the guitar, play the piano, sing, you know, that stuff is really, really out of my wheelhouse, totally. You know, I'd love to experience that one day.
Well, we certainly can if you want to.
Really?
Yeah.
You have your guitar here.
I always come prepared.
You come prepared? All right. I mean, listen, the theme for today is doing something you normally wouldn't do, stepping outside that comfort zone, so let's give it a shot.
All right, let's do it. All right, Lou, you ready?
I was born ready, brother. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right.
In West Philadelphia, born and raised on the playground is where I spent most of my days. Chilling on Max and relaxing on cool and shooting some b-ball outside of the school. When a couple of guys who were up to no good, they started making trouble in my neighborhood. I got in one little fight, my mom got scared.
Moving with your auntie and uncle to Bel Air.
I whistled for a cab, and when it came near, the license plates were fresh and there's dice in the mirror. If anything, I could say that this cab was rare, but I thought, nah, forget it.
Yo, home to Bel Air.
I pulled up to a house about 7 or 8, and I said to the cabbie, yo, home, smell you later. Looked at my kingdom, I was finally there to sit on my throne as the Prince of Bel Air.
Not too bad, brother.
Sounds good, man.
Glad you could keep up with me.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think we all know who the professional is now, right?
I think I've heard that song a million times, but this is the first acoustic version I've ever heard.
Well, it sounded great. You did a great job.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate it, man. Good job. We can go on the road with this one.
Let's do it. You're going to be my my opening act from now on, okay?
Opening?
Yeah.
I think I always want to go home after I'm done. I may not be hitting the road anytime soon with Matt, but that sure was a lot of fun. And it's right in line with today's theme of stepping outside of your comfort zone. You guys may have things that you want to do, but you're worried about other people taking jabs at you or maybe feeling uncomfortable at it. I sure felt the same way, but you've been seeing me do things on air that I would have never done before. So I'm encouraging you guys to do something that's uncomfortable, do something that you normally wouldn't do, but you've always had a passion for, and go for it. Well, that brings us into our next segment, Flipping on Faith. So if getting into real estate investing is one of the things that's going to be stepping outside of your comfort zone, today's Flipping on Faith is made for you. We're going to talk about how to renovate a house and what the budget looks like. Check it out for yourself. Hey everyone, welcome to another training series for the Hard Money Project. We are here today live at an actual job site. I'm joined today with Ed Hendrickson, my partner from the Hard Money Project. And one of the biggest issues with driveways is that sometimes there's a separation between the actual driveway and the house and the foundation of the house. Luckily, in this house, as you can see, we really don't have that separation. There is no space between the blacktop and the cinder block foundation. So if we did, we would have to go back in here with some asphalt and close it all up. and then try to get water as far away from this property as possible. Now, when they put in a new driveway, they always try to pitch it away from the house, and that's what we would try to do here if we needed to. All right, now let's actually take a look at the actual condition of the driveway. As you can see, our driveway we have here is not in the best of shape. It is a driveway that can probably last for another year or so. We probably don't have to take care of it right now, but we will have to address it in the future. So the good thing about the driveway is let it get messed up, because you're gonna have rollout dumpsters here all the time while you're doing construction. Okay, so what I want to explain to you guys is that it's very important in order to check the base of the home or the foundation of the home, because you could have vertical cracks like we have right here, and you can also have a lot of this chipping paint that's very dangerous, and it's not going to allow your client to get financing if they find that. So what we're going to do is we're saving this for last. We're going to scrape and paint the entire base of the house, which is relatively really inexpensive. It's probably going to cost us maybe around $800 to about $1,000. So just skim coat some of the areas with a little bit of cement, and then scrape and paint the entire base. Now, when you paint the exterior base of a house, you can't just use paint that you put on your walls.
Right.
It has to be masonry paint. It's the only paint that's gonna hold up, and it's the only paint that's really gonna perform well under the conditions of being outside. If not, you're just gonna have more of this right down the road. Okay, so don't think for 1 second that we forgot about the electrical. The electrical is actually one of the most important things in a home, because it can make the difference between a home being safe to a home just being a ticking time bomb waiting for a fire. Now, I've seen it. I'm actually buying a home right now that had some old bad electrical that wasn't a fire. So with our properties, we want to make sure that we're always up to code and up to standard on all the electrical. So with this, you can see we have a sub panel inside of each apartment. What the sub panel does is it allows you to be able to control all the fuses right from, and all the breakers right from the apartment. You don't have to go into the basement and hit a switch if something goes out. Plus, we've added new service, which means a whole new, more juice to the house, more power to the house, in order for us to never have to worry about our tenants not having enough power. If you're buying a home in the northern eastern part of the United States, you may have homes that were built in a time when oil was something that was the norm to heat a home. Now, in this house, when we walked in here, there actually was signs of there being an oil tank right outside this wall. Now, since then, my contractors have cut the lines. The other thing we did too was the entire basement, we dry locked it in order to give it a better appearance. Even if you're not going to finish the basement for rental purposes or for storage, it just gives it a better appeal when you walk into a basement. Also, guys, when you're doing a home and you're opening up the walls, you might as well do all new plumbing and electric. So as you can see here, we have all new PVC lines, and we have all new waste lines that are also PVC, all new gas lines, and all new water lines. Now, the water lines that they used to use before were copper lines. Now we use what's called PEX. It's basically just plastic. It's a high density plastic that it's really easy to work with, and especially in some of the urban neighborhoods, you don't have to worry about people breaking in and stealing it because it has no value. So whenever you do a home, you always want to make sure that you go all out and you do new plumbing whenever you can. If the home is not that old, you don't have to worry about that. But if you have cast iron lines, if you have missing pipes because someone broke in, if you've got just gas lines that are where they're not supposed to be, you just have to bite the bullet. All right, so guys, I hope you enjoyed it. Ed, did you learn something today?
I learned a lot, actually. I mean, I go around to all these houses and I look at people's budgets, but just speaking and being walked through the whole entire process of basically a new construction is really what you did here at the end of the day. There's a lot to be learned, and I think that everybody's going to gain some value from this.
And thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this series. Check you guys out in the next one.
See you soon.
If you enjoyed that segment and you want to see the entire webinar, visit our website, hardmoneyproject.com, and click under the training section. Now, moving along, we recently interviewed Derek D. He's an actor, comedian, performer, dancer. He does just about everything in the entertainment business. We had a lot of fun with him, so check it out for yourselves. Okay, guys, you asked for it, and we're giving it to you. We have an interview today with Derek D., the comedian, actor, and acclaimed host. So we're going to learn a little bit more about Derek today, where he came from, what he's been through, and where he's going. So without any further ado, Derek.
How you doing, man?
Tell us more about yourself. I know our audience probably knows a little bit about you from last time, but tell us where it all began.
Well, it's where it all began. It's crazy, actually. The story of how I even started getting into the entertainment business isn't very elaborate. You know, I was always an outgoing kid. I played sports in high school and stuff like that. And you know, growing up, I was always like the funny kid in class, and not just because, you know, I like to make people laugh, which I did, but I kind of like how, you know, you have like the overweight kid in class, and he always makes people laugh, therefore he doesn't get made fun of.
Sure.
Well, up until I was 15 years old, I had a very large birthmark on the right side of my nose, covered this whole side of my nose, and now skin that's on my waist is now on my face. Doctors did a great job. But growing up, I would deflect people, you know, making fun of that using comedy. That's probably how I initially got started in being funny, and then I went to college, and I went in graphic design, wanted to be an artist, and I saw this made-for-MTV movie called Together about a fake boy band.
Okay.
And literally, I don't know what happened. I saw it, and I was like, it was like, click. I was like, wait a second. I was like, I could do this. And I like, called my parents. I was like, I think I'm going to go in the city, try to go on auditions and stuff. And I just never stopped.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't getting anything. Nothing. I was going on auditions that didn't pay anything. It was free. Still not getting it. I'd go in the city like 2 hours in advance just to find my way around, and I just stayed with it. But I kept my graphic design major I knew that would help me in the future, not necessarily a plan B.
Okay. Because
I knew this is what I wanted to do. It was more of, I won't have to hire someone to do this stuff for me when I have shows or one-man shows. And, you know, I've had one-man shows where all the design work you see, the posters, the flyers, the playbills, I did it all. It looks professional. I didn't have to pay anyone.
Yeah. So I think the lesson that I'm getting from you is that every experience, no matter how small or maybe how crazy it seemed at the time, all kind of helped paved your way. Everything kind of molded you into the direction you went.
Yeah, I think that's valid. You know, it is a crazy business, the entertainment business. I mean, I always tell people, I'm like, look, if you want to be in it, you could be in it.
Sure. But
you need to be in it 100%. Because if you're not going to be in it 100%, get out.
Yeah.
That could apply to any business someone's in that they really dedicate their lives to. I mean, you just don't stop. And don't get me wrong, it's tough. And it'll affect relationships, it'll affect your life, financially, everything. You know, the highs are high and the lows are low. Just be humble and suck it up and try not, even though I know it's hard because I still do it, try not to worry about what other people think.
Absolutely.
And that's tough to do, but
it's a real thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called FOPO, fear of other people's opinions.
I've heard of FOMO, but FOPO.
I heard it from a famous author. He said that this is why people don't do what they want to do is because of fear of other people's opinions, even though it has no real effect on us. But since we're kids, we're always teased, and it comes from adolescence and all those times, and it travels with us all the way to adulthood. So it's really our mind playing tricks on us is really all at the end of the day, all it is. And you've learned to overcome it. So. Because you got uncomfortable.
I'm still uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And don't get it twisted. I mean, it's still a struggle. And you know, but you just I just kept going. I would go on these auditions.
Yeah.
Bomb. I would do stand up. Yeah. Bomb. I just kept doing it.
Yeah.
Why? Why did I keep doing it? Like it's like, you do enjoy this? No, but part of it, like you get down on yourself real quick, and then right after you're like, no, fuck this. Like no, I'm going again. Like I learned from that. And move on to the next thing, you know, and eventually you keep doing it. I mean, I took classes, like acting classes, comedy and stuff like that, and you learn technique and you just go, I'm going to do it.
So your mindset is the ultimate entrepreneurial mindset because what you're doing is you don't know what the outcome is and you just keep pushing forward no matter what the results are because you're that excited about it. And that's what really fuels a lot of the best business people in the world because a lot of people who watch our show, they're either trying to get into a business or starting a business or maybe they've been in business but it's just flatline. Yeah. But with you seem like every new day is a new opportunity, every new gig is a new opportunity, and you seem to have no limits on your capacity.
I look at it like that for sure because if I'm not in the city auditioning or I'm not on a shoot or I'm not doing a voiceover or I'm home in front of my computer trying to advance my career.
You're hustling.
If I'm not out doing something, I'm home in front of my computer, emailing, posting things, making funny little videos just to keep people interested. It's just, it's constant and it never stops.
Sure.
And you shouldn't stop.
No. I mean, you brought up a good point because we do a lot of content here. I feel like we do a lot of content compared to most people in our circles. but you did a show that was shot daily, Fast Lane Daily. And you did that for many, many years. What was it? You did like 9 years?
Just shy of 9 years.
9 years you did
crazy.
that for. How do you, first of all, shoot, produce, edit for 9 years straight, almost every day? I mean, how did you guys do that?
Well, at first, you know, I always liked cars. Just quick background: Fast Lane Daily is a daily automotive news show about cars, but funny.
Hysterical.
And
if you haven't seen it, you got to check it out.
Unless you watch the last episode, you can watch me cry, which is fine.
Which is funny too.
But you might cry too. It's pretty sentimental. But at first, I just auditioned for it. I was like, a daily show about cars? That's cool. Sounds good to me, and it pays. And I was like, who's going to watch TV on the internet? This was 08, 07 or something. And I went to the audition, and I've told this story before, but on the way in on the train from Jersey, like my stomach was killing me. Not like Bubble Guts had to drop a douche. Just my stomach was killing me, and I was like, every ounce of my being was like, just go home, man. It doesn't matter. It's an internet television show. But what you need to have in your head is go on every audition. You go. So I went. I did my thing. They saw something in me. Fast forward, we had a lot of ups and downs as well as you do at anything, and we lasted, you know, almost 9 years. Time Inc., a really big corporation, bought us, and 7 months later canceled us abruptly. And but the show was really a good show. You know, whether you watched it or not, we affected people that watched it in a good way. It kind of turned into this thing that was never on. They never had a show like this before, and people have tried to duplicate it, and it hasn't been yet. And it's just sitting there, and I don't know. I've been pitching shows that are similar. Nothing has bit yet, but who knows?
What I loved about it is even if you knew nothing about cars.
Yeah, Lewis said he watched it.
It was still funny as hell. It was still funny, and like you were a great host, and I never thought that we'd cross paths one day. But you were doing an excellent job. I mean,
Thank you, man.
I was having a hard time keeping up with the car stuff just because I was cracking up laughing at your stuff. But it was great. I loved it. I loved the vibe you brought to the show, and I think they hit the nail on the head when they chose you for the host. But that was those were some of your highs and some of your lows there. So how did it feel when Time picked it up? You were like, yes, we cracked it. We made it.
At first, it felt good to be like, wow.
Yeah.
You know, it's way more legit now, and but then 7 months later, they canceled us.
Derek, so let's stay there for a second. So the day that your show gets canceled, how do you move on from that? I'm sure you felt like it was like a punch to the gut, rug gets pulled out from you, because our audience, I know this might happen to them, whether it's a bad marriage or whether it's losing a business partner or closing your doors to your brick and mortar shop. How do you get past that?
Yeah, well, it was definitely quite the blow to have a day to process it. But, you know, it was like the kind of thing where then you start evaluating it and go, well, maybe it was time. Just the way they went, no pun intended. Maybe it was time. It was time. Maybe the way they went about it was definitely wrong, no question about that. But maybe it was time. Maybe it was time to transition into something. Sure. And when that happened, I was working on a big one-man show at the House of Independence in Asbury Park, New Jersey, and I was putting my all into that. I shot in New Orleans for it, L.A., in Asbury Park, in the city as well, and I was like, so I just, you know, streamlined my focus all on that show, and was like, I need to sell this place out. I want standing room only. I'm going to promote the hell out of it. When you think you promoted something enough, promote it 10 times more. But there's a fine line between being annoying with it, so you got to be creative. You know, don't just post the same flyer every other day, the same flyer. Make different ones. Make little fun videos.
I love it.
To answer your question, I was focused hard on that, and then after that, I was like, okay, I just need to pound the pavement with auditions and creating my own stuff, and you know, working into that next phase of my life. You know, Fast Lane Daily was a big part of it for a long time.
Sure.
And then, you know, this was just a couple years ago when the show got canceled, and I've just been auditioning and get a gig that lasts a while, and then that ends, and it's like, okay, when's the next gig? And I haven't had a main like gig since. I mean, I'm currently the national voice for PetSmart.
Okay.
The commercials, the voiceovers you hear, the voice at the end is me. But those kind of things. But that's not a salary, and you know, so it's grinding, moving forward, creating, and you know, just not stopping.
That brings us to what you spoke to me about earlier, which was you're working on a sitcom with your co-writer, co-producer that you had FLD with. Tell us about that, and that must be exciting.
I can't explain how excited I am about this. Like I believe in it so deep down in my core. So it's called Cop and Styles. Now, Cop and Styles is like a phrase that me and my cousin made up years ago. It can mean anything that you apply it to. It could be like I'm copping brand new kick styles or something, or like like my friends, because I would say it so often, they'd be like, I went to this party last night with a lot of styles there. Styles were girls. Like, it's however you want to use it. So basically, AK, his name's Alan Kaufman, I call him AK. He was a producer on Fastlane Daily, and he went through this whole process with us, with Fastlane Daily at Time Inc. and all that. We've been working on this, we're writing it for months, and it's about a show called Pass Lane Daily. Pass Lane, like the passing lane, we figure, and it's very similar to, obviously, Fastlane Daily. But it's the way I like to put it, it's an over-exaggerated base in truth of what we went through.
Course of events.
Yeah, so this giant organization called Galaxy Media buys up this show that's one of the most popular shows in the world. Now we're exaggerating that, for the show, but basically it's us versus them. The corporation wants big advertisers. They want huge name advertisers, and we're getting smaller advertisers, but we're getting views, millions and millions of views. But the head of this corporation hates me. He doesn't even know who I am. And he just wants to basically be like, let's get rid of this Derek D guy. But it's the way it's written, the way the pilot episode is written is really clever. There's a really cool element in it where we break the fourth wall, especially my character in it, and I explain things, and it's also and it's built around the work environment in Brooklyn, New York. The whole like kind of millennial hipster work environment where no one's actually working. Everyone's literally they're sleeping. They're worried about what the barista's making over there, the snacks in the. I mean, we experience all this. So I like to call it exaggerated truth, but it's number one priority is it's a comedy. It's a sitcom. It's funny, but it's based in truth. So it's not hard for us to build out these episodes because we lived it, and we have scenarios that are true, and the characters are based on some real people, and also like a character maybe based on like 3 people combined. Okay. That we worked with.
That's awesome.
And just super excited about it. I actually emailed 3 people today pitching it. Okay. And we're gonna pitch it till our arms fall off.
So the script is ready, a pilot's ready, everything's
Pilot's done, ready to go, registered with the Writers Guild of America. And someone needs just to believe in it and go, yeah, there's something here, because it's original. It's definitely different. There's never been something based around the Brooklyn work space. I know there's going to be a ton of no's, most likely, before any yes.
Yeah, you need those.
Because I get rejected every day. Every day. Good. This business, thick skin. You got to have it or just get out.
Just life in general.
Yeah.
So now we've talked in length. I know our audience is going to want to know more about you and where they can find you. Can you tell them about your social media links or your website?
Yeah, absolutely. You can head to derekd.com, just DEREKD.com. It's been fully revamped, so go check that out. There's a ton of pictures. There's all my demo reels and stuff are on there. My resume, if you want to check that out. And then you can get to all my socials from there instead of me listing off all my social medias.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Derek, for being with us today. And thank you all for joining us. And I don't know about you guys, but I had a blast. Hope you guys enjoyed it. See you next time. Wow, another amazing show. If you guys enjoyed it, please don't forget to give us a comment, a like, a share, even hit that notification bell. Thanks again for watching. See you later.